Alright, this is just gonna be a quick little video about the One Piece live action that recently came out on Netflix, and this is like the first ever Netflix live action that doesn't suck complete balls. I'm not saying it's good, but it ain't bad. Like, I don't think if you've been in this community enough, this is a massive win. They finally are making mid. They have consistently made garbage, but now they're making mid. That's pretty good. That's a good thing, you know? That shows improvement from Netflix. And this is for good times to come. There's still a lot of series, a lot of anime that could get a live adaptation. And with these steps done, it could be really, really good. Now, like, the main concern of the One Piece live action was the CGI. Now, CGI was actually not that bad. It was pretty good. A lot of the scenes that use CGI weren't that bad. Like, obviously there's some exceptions, you know, like for example, like Luffy dodging the bat in the first episode. Yeah, that was not good. It looked but overall, CGI wasn't bad. You know, compared to the trailer, like the arm stretching doesn't look this bad. When we look at Luffy like trying to punch Alvida, doesn't look that bad. And also the whole thing with the fish monster and the backstory, that also looked really good. And in general, everything looked so clean. Like, for once in their life, they made anime actually look really good. And that also lets me lead into the world building. Amazing. Like, it just brings so much life into the series. Seeing all these iconic One Piece locations in real life, from like Barati, Syrup Village, Windmill Village, the Marine Base, they all look amazing. The set design team did an amazing job in general. Though, one big change that you'll definitely see during the One Piece live action is the tone shift. They've made One Piece a lot more serious. Like, they, rather than trying to appeal to like that like preteen audience that One Piece I believe was intentionally made for, it's a lot more serious. Like, the show just feels and has a lot more weight to it. Like, One Piece in general is a very like goofy-ish cartoon kind of feel. Like, of course it's anime, but still in general it just feels very goofy, to the point where it's just like, you know, you'll consistently like have a little chuckle here and there just listening to Luffy. But in this live action, you can tell that the characters here are a lot more serious, which is a welcome change. You know, it's not faithful to the manga, but in general, live actions wouldn't work if they were one-on-one with the manga, because in general, they wouldn't work. Anime is meant to be in the fiction. It wouldn't really work that well in the real world. So obviously they're going to make some changes so that it's unique, but still keeps truthful and faithful to the original manga. And so, what else? Oh yeah, on top of this, of course, the music score is amazing. Of course, it's based off the One Piece score, which is already really good. So in general, I don't have a lot of things to say about that. However, going back on top of the world building, there are also just like some modernizations done within the live action. Like, it's very obvious that they have electricity. You can see this in the first episode. In Windmill Village, in the bar, they have like neon lights and stuff. And in general, also at Barati, you can also see that they got light bulbs. So in general, electricity exists, which isn't in the manga. But oh well, on top of that, it's just some like very modern clothing. I think they just did this just so that like it'd be easier to cast and maybe just to be more creative with it. In general, it's something that I don't think a lot of people will agree with, but in general, it's not a bad change. And in general, the strongest things about this series were the flashbacks. Oh my gosh, they were so good. Like, Sanji's flashback with him and Zep. There was also Usopp's flashback with his mom dying. That was so strong. And of course, Nami's flashback too. These were all very strong flashbacks in general. Even it can be argued that compared to the anime, you can actually feel the emotional weight that these events had on these characters' lives. And that brings me to like one of the minor bad points I'm going to get to, which is Luffy's flashback. The actor or like, not really the actor, more like the character in general, was written more like a crybaby compared to just like headstrong type of Luffy. Like he kind of just like really wants to be on the pirate crew and kind of just whines about it until he just ends up realizing, hey, I'm not ready for the ocean. And so his backstory wasn't that strong either. Zoro's was also good, but onto the topic of Zoro. As a Zoro fan, I hate to say it, but Zoro was by far the weakest character of the Straw Hat Pirates in the live action. I mean, it's just that like he seems a little bit too like edgy at times. Like the Zoro that we know is just like, he's cool because he just doesn't care about what people do to him, while this Zoro just feel, all the Zoro in like the live action just feels as if he's constantly trying to prove something, that he's like the strongest, compared to the Zoro in the manga where he's just knows that he's just that good, and that if he loses, that person's just like truly amazing. And so that's probably like my one big gripe with the One Piece live action. They ruined my favorite character. And overall, it's sad, but you know, if they make a season 2, they got a lot of things to change. So I think definitely it could be better. And overall, still left me disappointed, but oh well. And another weird change that I think they made was they made Surf Village really long. Like it was like 2 episodes of just Surf Village when it could have been like half, and it was weird, but oh well. Like the change wasn't good, but it wasn't too horrible to ruin the viewing experience. Now, another weird thing was also like Arlong being introduced like very early on, like during like Barati, when they're still at Barati, and that was another weird change. But overall, like I can see how they're trying to twist it a little bit. And overall, the biggest twist is Garp serving more as of an antagonist and actually meeting Luffy at the end, which was what? Huh? Like that's what had me initially. Like I didn't really get that. But I do think that they were attempting to cook. They were kind of cooking. But overall, the whole test of him chasing down Luffy and telling him it's a test to see if he's ready to be a pirate king just does not make sense. Like I liked the meetup in the anime/manga where, you know, Garp after the whole Enies lobby stuff, Garp meets up with Luffy. He's just like, "What's up, knucklehead?" And then just like beats him up. And then he's just like, we're not ready for catching yet. And instead it feels as if like Garp having him chase him down being his like whole test to see if he's ready to be the next Pirate King just seems like too cliche. It's not something that the real Garp would do. However, Garp's involvement in the East Blue Saga allowed for some very cool interactions with him and Mihawk. Like that scene where he was just like laughing around in the Mihawk's office, I think it's supposed to be, with like Kobe just listening in the background. That was pretty cool. Overall, the One Piece live action isn't that bad. If I had to give a rating on it, it'd be like a 5.5 out of 10. I'm not saying it's bad by giving a 5.5, it's just pretty average. Alright, peace.